What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Snake Pit. This is episode 226 today. Episode 227. My guest today is Matthew Rosas. He is the owner and operator of Momentum of Roses. He's actually a sponsor of today's podcast, so let me give him both the sponsors a shout out real quick. First and foremost, Post Baseball Academy. Shout out to them over there in Post, Texas, teaching the young ones fundamentals of the game, creating work ethic and teamwork. So it's really cool. My dad runs this with a few other people and a few other family members. And it's really cool because, you know, small town, the people who live in small towns usually have to drive up to bigger towns or, you know, that offer these kind of services. So now you can do it in your hometown of Post, Texas, or the surrounding areas can drive up to Post, Texas. Or if you really want to support you from Lubbock, go down there. This podcast is also sponsored by the man who's on the podcast today, Momentum of Roses. You'll learn more about it, but I will tell you real quick, it's an upcycle streetwear brand that focuses on taking single moments to get lost in, to keep momentum, create, and find peace of mind. We kind of dive really deep into what all of that means and kind of how he created all of that. You can follow Momentum of Roses on Instagram at momentum_of_roses, or you can visit his website, momentumofroses.com. That's Momentum of Roses on Facebook as well. So big shout out to these two sponsors for supporting the Snake Pit. And our sponsors are actually not even from Lubbock, Texas. They are surrounding 806 members. So big shout out to Amarillo and Post, Texas. This episode, like I have mentioned, is with Matthew Rosas. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And I'm working really hard to get the video out. But right now, we only have audio. Still the same conversation. Great conversation. Check his stuff out. Check Post Baseball Academy out. You can follow us at the Snake Pit Rattlesnake Roy on all social medias. Patreon.com/SnakePit on Patreon. Conversation Pit and Pirate Radio episodes on there. Lords of Film, March 10th. They're doing a movie night at season 3. So if you missed the first two, you have another chance to watch a movie with us. It's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. A great movie. Come check it out. And then look out for other things. Lords of Film. We are resuming Lawn Chair Sports Podcast very soon. And the same with Dylan and Roy Question Everything. So, guys, I hope you enjoy. Thank you. We're on an episode of the Snake Pit. What's up, brother?
Doing well, man.
You doing all right, man? Yeah. Thank you for being here. Momentum of Roses.
Yes, sir.
That's you.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about it, man.
Quick second.
That's all right.
So this is a clothing brand, a streetwear brand that I run. I do some printed collection pieces, mainly hoodies, crew necks, and then I do custom one-on-one that's completely upcycled. I get, you know, secondhand pieces, thrifted pieces, vintage pieces, and then cut and sew, blend them together. And a couple of pieces I got on right now. I have a fashion show in February, and these are going to be featured in it. And so just trying to figure out.
We're writing it right now?
Yeah. And so that's one of the next drop is Peace of Mind, and you're wearing one of the collection. Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you, by the way.
Absolutely.
So how did this all get started, man? Let's go back to the beginning.
To the beginning, man. I've always been into fashion, and I grew up in Amarillo. And so I was always big into like LA, New York trends. And if you're living in Amarillo, it just, you stand out, you look weird. A lot of people question your sexuality in the 90s, early 2000s with the way you dress. And that's kind of what I grew up with. And yeah, just always been into fashion. And then my dad was big on sports. So sports was my whole life for 29, 30 years. And I just thought at that time, I didn't think you could be an athlete and be into fashion or art.
Boy, were you wrong, huh?
Yeah. And so I went and decided, you know what, I'm going to be a coach. That's what I wanted to be, a basketball coach. I played a little bit of college ball, and I was like, well, this is going to be my life because I loved it. Mm-hmm. And I did that. I went and got my master's. And, you know, sports and exercise science and teaching. And I thought that was going to be the rest of my life. And now I'm doing this. And as I was coaching these kids, you're designing warm-ups, jerseys, and I just love that process of it. Going to the screen printer, coming up with graphic designs, coming up with a subtle meaning behind a piece so people can interpret it in different ways.
Were you the head coach at this time?
I was.
So you had complete control over what?
Yeah, I was a varsity boys basketball coach for 6 years, but I also coached the girls the last 2 years. So I was coaching both. And
so this was a small private school, right?
Small private school, yeah, in Amarillo. And I absolutely loved it. Built an amazing program with these kids. A lot of the ones that are in college actually model and help me with like social media and stuff. So there's still a strong relationship with them.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, and so
in the 90s, you're into this stuff. How? Like, because I know Amarillo is a smaller town. How did you get into that?
What aesthetic did you lean into? What were you wearing back then? I love it. I love it here.
So what was like the medium? Like, was it magazines? What was it?
My brother.
Okay.
My brother. He was 7 years older than me. And so growing up, I mean, I'm looking up to this guy, and he's big into R&B, hip hop. So you watch those music videos, I was obsessed. MTV. Watching the way people
Fresh
dress.
Prince?
I wasn't too much in. My brother loved that. My brother loved that, but I wasn't too much into that. But I just seeing the style just caught my eye. The colors, the way, the fit, the silhouettes, and so.
So I was like a 2000s kid. You know what I mean? So I really grew up with like a lot of like 2000s like pop culture and stuff. So it's like growing up, like I grew up watching like MTV Cribs and seeing people like showing off their Fendi, their Dior, their Chanel, talking about the shoes. And that's kind of how you start hearing these brands. And then through like music videos and stuff like that, just seeing the way they were styled. And then I grew up on America's Next Top Model. It was very fucking toxic. You know what I mean? But just like seeing like what couture was and editorial from like a little young age, I just absorbed it like a sponge. You know what I mean? So I kind of understand just that was a time, the Y2K, the 2000s, even like the 2000s mall goth aesthetic was, the punk aesthetic was just so heavy at the time. I loved it. Yeah. I wish I was this age at that time.
Exactly. I think about that all the time. I think about that all the time, especially in the 90s, late 90s. That nostalgia and wishing I can go back and experience, the fashion at that time and really appreciate it a little bit more.
So your brother, he was influencing you?
Big influence. The way he dyed his hair. I have never told him that either. I've always been.
I hope you're listening, brother.
Yeah. I've always been combatant. We've always had a relationship where we kind of butt heads, but he's been a big influence in just on creativity and art. And so Jay, if you're listening to this, I really love you and I appreciate you. So
damn, I'm gonna cry on this damn podcast. What the fuck?
And I haven't talked to him in a while. We just, like I said, don't have that close relationship. But you asking those questions really brought. And I didn't even think.
Damn, we're doing our job, guys.
Yes.
So you were doing this in the 90s, right? That's why were you going to the mall? Like, because I'm just I'm so interested in how people did things. Because right now you can just order off your phone. Next day you got your shit.
Yeah, man. The mall was big. Yeah. I mean, going and getting the big thing for me was like basketball shoes. So any type of sneaker. My brother had these Penny Hardaways. I don't know if you ever seen them.
Look that up, would you please?
Penny Hardaways. Pretty similar to the foam posit Nikes. Oh, okay. Yeah. And my brother had these bright blue ones. And man, when he bought those, I was just in awe.
It was a dude's shoe? His own player? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Nice. Fuck, I think I have those shoes.
Yeah, it's those, go up to the top, those where it says 340. Yeah, next to them. The black and, I believe it's,
Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I believe it was those. But I mean, those just pop. You see that shine and I just, after seeing those, sneakers became a big thing for me. And there's nothing like walking to school with a new pair of sneakers and being able to show that. And I was at a private school. So we wore uniforms. The only way you can express yourself was through sneakers. And so,
was this a Catholic private school?
Yeah.
In this era, are they suppressing these kind of things? Was it, like you said, it's like they were like, if you wore that, you were fucking probably, they thought you were gay.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Like they were like, no, there's no.
Yeah, that's a big one. I guess we can get deep into that. I taught at that same school, and I coached at that same school.
Was that by choice?
Yeah. I wanted to go back. They were getting rid of. There was a situation with the head of the school that was trying to get rid of sports. I just graduated, and I was like, I'm going to bring that shit back, and I'm going to make us like people are going to know our name. That was my idea, and fuck, I did it. I'm so proud of what these kids and myself and these coaches were able to do. But yeah, that was the one thing I wanted to bring back, but I wanted to do it my way. My dad said something the other day, and I was talking to her about this. He gets frustrated. You always want to do it your way. I've always been that way. And so when going to a Catholic school, having tattoos, and just doing it a different way, that's what I wanted to do. And I loved it. Caught up to me. And yeah, I had to leave. And it was tough, man. It was tough because I gave I have 2 kids. Those fucking athletes were my sons more than my sons.
You spent most of your time with them.
Yeah. And you give everything. You pour your heart out into, and as you're pouring your heart out, it's so authentic. And people can't change the way you do things because this is how we do it. This is what got us to this point. And then it catches up when you're in a private school, I guess. I'm sure it catches up in public school too, but it's a little bit different. Apparently you can't coach and cuss.
I didn't even think about that. Damn.
Oh, I was.
There was no goddamn none of that shit. Huh?
Oh man, I was saying fuck and shit, but the thing was like, the kids knew where my heart is. There was hardly any issues that would ever come up from the athletes because I knew I was with them day in and day out.
So it was all about basketball for you. You were just like, this is for the better of basketball. Or you were trying to win,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the last 2 years, we were ranked in the top 5.
Hell yeah.
My last year, ranked number 1 in the state. We were supposed to win it all. Right before playoffs, I had to resign. And, yeah,
Dang.
it was rough. But it got me to this point.
I wanted to speak on that. There's something like, because, there's always clash with authority. And there's always like, you kind of, when you're under somebody else, you have to play by their rules. I get that. But goddamn, do I respect it when you're like, I'm going to do it my fucking way. Yeah. I love those kind of people, man. I'm like,
yeah. And the one thing, I think I got, you get a little, I guess, cocky when I did that from day one. That nothing really changed over. They would bring me in, Matthew, you can't be doing this. You can't be saying that. Okay. I still did it. I would change a couple of things, but that's it. But then in my head, I got to a point where like, I'm irreplaceable. They can't replace me. Look where we got. But that taught me a lot. I can get replaced tomorrow and life moves on. That's it. Which is an important thing to know,
I was just
too.
about to say, that's an ooky spooky thing to think about because it's true for every goddamn person.
Yeah. And, being at a smaller school and building the program to what it was, and you start to think, like, who can come in? Anybody. It won't be the same, but anybody can do your job tomorrow.
So that whole time, are you thinking about the brand that you've started?
No,
You're not.
No,
you
not
don't have
at
it
all.
out.
Not at all. She's my girlfriend off camera is the one. After everything happened, she's like, "Now's the time." I talked about it a little bit. Well, it would be cool to have a brand, but my focus was basketball. This program, and yeah. And once all that happened, I was like, my first release in the school. That the kids were supportive and they were like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them were freaking out, like, what the fuck is coach doing? this is a coach wanting to be in Fed. Like
you just like shifted that tunnel vision to clothing.
Yeah, and then I asked them at the school, "Hey, can I teach a sewing class?" So I was like coaching these kids and sewing in a way, and it's always been special for me to be connected to those kids and see growth in some way. So, yeah.
Well, if you're listening, please subscribe to the Sneak Pit. But so you're, are you like your whole life? Are you working on clothes? Are you thinking about that sort of stuff? Because you got your own style.
You into sewing?
Yeah.
New York City.
Okay.
We went in September last year. And I was doing graffiti tagging. I did a little bit of graffiti paint tagging, hand drawing a little bit. But the sewing side, you go to New York. Have y'all ever been?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go.
Yeah,
been to LA.
It's perfect for somebody like you.
LA, but
Yeah.
It's like the golden place for you, man.
And I'm there, and we were there in the city for 2 days, and you just see different people speaking without speaking. They're on the move.
yeah.
But they're talking with the way they look and the way they're confident in what they're in.
It's like everybody has main character energy out there.
Yes,
So
that's exactly it. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And so I get back and I'm like, I can make that though. I can probably do that too, you know? And so we get back, I go to an estate sale, buy a $30 1970s vintage sewing machine. You buy it for $30, you're not thinking it's gonna work. That baby works. That's my
Nice.
baby. Yeah. And
shit.
I taught myself how to sew on YouTube and a lot of fuck ups and
Yeah. So like, who kind of influenced your style? Was it just like?
This one right here. This is the Vario drop. The summer in Vario. The Vario is like the Mexican neighborhood in our area, and the inspire was like cholo style, baggy, boxy, and so all those button ups that you see.
I like that
like
one.
these ones here. Yeah, all these button ups there were 3X t-shirts all the way to the fucking knees, and I cut them into waist length and hemmed them into boxy button ups.
How cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was looking at your page earlier, and that translates like the really like the Chicano influence. It's almost a little punk, a little streetwear influenced. I like the way your editorials look too,
Thank you.
or like the styling of that. Whoever's styling.
Alex Cazares was a photographer and he killed it. He's amazing. But we should have a photo shoot soon. But yeah, that's what inspired these. The boxy look. The Old English is our logo. That's from seeing all my tios with tattoos and, you know, the Old English style. So that's a lot of influence there.
Man, that's really cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing this in Amarillo, right? Tell me about the Amarillo vibe. And I know what people are going to say. I've been on record saying, talking shit about Amarillo. I have. So
Okay,
I want to hear
I
about
can't wait
it.
to hear this.
I ran into some people. I was thinking about this earlier because I was going to bring it up.
Can I get my hoodie on
Yeah.
real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, you need me to?
She's like, "You want me to go outside?"
No, it's fine. We're good. No, we're fine. I'm sorry. I thought I brought it.
She's all.
She's got a couple layers. I might have to borrow.
You're one of these players.
No, we're good. Sorry about that. So,
Oh, what was it? I was
Amarillo.
talking shit about Amarillo. No.
did you see how I moved that?
No. So the place is cool. I'm jealous of the downtown. You guys
Okay.
got a badass downtown.
Okay.
It's a vibe there. But this is my personal experience when I went. I was thinking about it because I was going to
Talk your
bring it
shit.
up. About 5-6 years ago, I went and the people were assholes because we went to like a house show there. So it was Amarillo people and they were fucking assholes. So I was like, you motherfuckers.
Okay.
And there's some sort of like friendly competition between like I created in my head like Lubbock and Amarillo. Like, no, we're the real 806.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of fucking. I
I don't know. It's probably true. I'm sure there's some other people thinking that too.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
yeah, it's fun. So
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna have to bring that up. But
Right,
so, what
absolutely.
is the vibe like for you over there?
Man,
You're-
there's been a lot of great support. I do a lot of pop-ups, local pop-ups. I do events. A lot of people like to, you know, they bring me in and give me the opportunities. So I'm very appreciative. It's hard to sell at certain price points. price points is it's hard for. I'm not a salesman. I feel like I'm a designer. It's hard for me to sell my clothes because I don't want to let them go. I don't want to let them go, but I price them at a certain price. And in Amarillo, it's people look at it. It seems like people look at, oh, that's fucking dope. That's sick. And they look at the price and it's like a whole nother world. You know, it's like a completely changed perspective, which I get. I've done that.
Yeah.
But I take it to Dallas. I went to Dallas and I mean, I was able to sell 3 custom pieces, you know, like that. And it can take me months to sell any in Amarillo.
What do you think that is? Because even I have that mindset. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm glad you're telling your story because that's when for me it clicks when people tell me their story as to why something is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But you're working with your hands, right? Every fucking piece, right?
Yeah. So like this piece I have on this, I mean, I don't know if you see this create. I mean, I did that with the sewing machine. That's not embroidered. It's I'm doing, and that shit's hard. Shit's hard. Yeah.
I really think that comes down to, because I've thought of the same thing. I really think it comes down to the availability of clothing options that we have in these smaller towns versus a bigger town. In a bigger town, your shopping options, you're going to be essentially more exposed to quality of clothing, quality of brand, you know, and just the availability is to you versus here, we don't have it. So what do we resort to? Fast fashion. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
So when you see these pieces that are of quality, of, you know, they're handmade, they are made locally, and they are still streetwear, I feel like people, they are like, I can see that, I can see it on Shein. You know what I mean? Versus in Dallas or a bigger city, they see the quality of that. Or like, I just feel like the quality of pop-ups in like bigger cities are a little bit different than the quality of pop-ups here in that sense. Because I follow some people in like Dallas that go to like vintage pop-ups, but they're like designer vintage pop-ups versus like a streetwear pop-up. You know what I mean? And so I feel like people really appreciate quality, you know, and craftsmanship.
And I love that you said that. I think living in a bigger city, you're around more people who are wearing possibly the same thing. So what's the way to stand out? Look for those local people that no one knows. And they're searching for those. Here in Amarillo, it's not necessarily like that. And so,
is there like season 3 here? Is there something going on over there in Amarillo? Y'all got some?
No. We have like sneaker resale stores, but no brands like that. No.
Yeah, I was noticing how many are popping up here. I went downtown.
Oh, is there another one?
There's a lot of people, you know, even with the vintage stores that you know, people sell their clothes there, and it's like, damn, I love it. I love to see it. Because we were driving down Q, we saw that sneaker place.
Laced Up.
Shout out to them, whoever they are.
Yeah, it was like literally it was the corner of a corner store.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
and this is here in Lubbock? You need to check that out.
There's a bunch of places popping up. I'm like, damn, what the hell? So,
I mean, and it's amazing to see because that's giving you more options in-house, which we've never seen that before.
You guys got like a First Friday art show out there?
No, I'm actually doing one here.
Here?
Are you going to be at the First Friday next month or this month?
April.
Okay.
April. Yeah. Super excited for that. How is that?
It's perfect. It'll be perfect for you. I'm telling you. It's like
super excited.
Anybody who's
that's the spot to network. Yeah. That's the spot to introduce yourself to people. And I mean, truly, if you're going to be set up there too, people are just going to be gravitating towards you. It's the easiest way to network and market yourself.
Amazing. Well, and that's what I was telling Roy. I want to start doing more pop-ups in Lubbock because there's some creatives I want to collab with, and so.
Who are some creatives you're thinking of?
Life Legend.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the big one that I eventually want to just learn from. His craft is amazing. So.
Yeah, he's kind of got his own little style down, man. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's way different from what I do, but I mean, even being able to collab, and that's the one thing I'm learning. That's my goal this year is to do more collabs. I'm tired of doing it by myself. You know what I mean? I want to do it with, and maybe you understand that a little bit with the podcast. We talked a little bit about that. Yeah. It's nothing like doing it with a team. And so.
Yeah.
God bless you if you're doing it alone, man. It's fucking.
Man, I try. Yeah. I'm ready to, hopefully, I mean, the goal is to find a partner and grow the brand to another level because I know I was a coach. I know how this team aspect works, and I don't want to do it by myself. So,
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, what would be like collabing? Like you?
I'm actually this next drop where I collab with somebody. It's gonna be sick. Yeah, he does. I wonder if you could bring it up. Improper Terror.
See how he spells it.
He's a.
Is it this drop that you collabed with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this is actually me and my oldest son actually designed that one. That one was the last collection.
Okay.
Yeah. But I haven't put out the collab drop for Peace of Mind yet.
Oh, how sick.
But he does collage art.
Oh, this is him right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Out of newspaper cuttings.
Fuck, dude, that's cool.
He's
Bradley, will you send that profile to the Hellosoft account?
Improper Terror. Unbelievable.
And he's from Amarillo?
Amarillo.
Oh my god.
And so me and him collabed. We're gonna be collabing on some one-on-one pieces this Sunday. So he's gonna help me with like collage with graphic tees, and I'm gonna sew. So
Fuck, dude, that's so cool. You never know who's where, man. Like that's what I'm saying. These people just keep popping up, and I'm like, golly, it's awesome.
an amazing dude too. So he did one with my logo. I threw in a couple suggestions. I said, man, do what you do. It's gonna be sick. Yeah.
So, is there like a hot spot not a hot spot, like a place in Amarillo where y'all hang out, or is it kind of just done online?
Royal Bar, Palace Coffee. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it. It's like a local coffee spot. But that's where we do most of our meetings.
And y'all just sit there and talk and stuff.
Shoot the shit. You know, I started a group called ECC, expanding me and this other brand. Her name is Adriana. It's called ECC, Expanding Creative Connections. And it was pretty much like, we're tired of doing this on our own. Let's be around other creatives. He ended up joining that group, started collabing.
Nice.
That's really
Love
cool.
it. You need one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because I mean, I think that's sometimes all it takes is just like finding camaraderie. And just from there, you
Yeah.
never know what he needs help on. Maybe I'm the solution to that. Or maybe he's wanting to do the same thing and we can just powerhouse it out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
So,
the
that's
biggest,
awesome.
like every we only meet once a month, but every month we bring like a topic. Hey, we're gonna get to know each other, any new ones coming in, and then we're gonna talk about marketing strategies. What did you find good? What did you find good? Or what did y'all find bad? And then we kind of help each other with that.
Fuck, I wonder if that's going on here.
I don't. It needs to
Yeah,
happen.
damn,
I
that's
mean,
a good
there are so
idea.
many creatives that
Yeah.
I mean could. That's just so cool.
Well, it's very cool. I was wrong about you, Amarillo. Sorry. My
Well,
bad.
but it's competitive. People are
And
competitive.
it needs.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be. It should be.
It should be.
It should be.
100%. It
In a
should
good
be.
way.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the thing. Like, my mindset is, if your shit is good, people are gonna flock to it.
Exactly.
Why keep? I reached out to a couple of people when I first started. Hey man, where did you go through for your blanks? Where did you? Maybe check this spot out.
Yeah.
Give me the shit.
Well,
you
I
know.
keep a mental note of those people. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. If you're confident
even-
in your
don't even.
work, if you're confident in your brand,
Give it all out.
then
Yeah,
you should understand that there's enough for everybody to eat.
100%.
Yeah.
And so
No.
I put out a video today, just being authentic, like, because I post that I'm moving and, you know, even doing this podcast and, you know, this is exciting stuff. But I told people like, this fucking is hard. Like, I had to get a second job just to sustain this dream. Like, nobody wants to put that out, you know, because it is competitive. I want you to see me at this light, not like this. But it's like, if your shit's good, just be authentic and show it. So I don't know. But that was the reason of forming these groups, is to help each other out.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Should do that here.
I was a part of a small business group. They were all like realtors and roofing, and it was cool. They were amazing, but I just felt like the odd man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't have anybody else to relate to in like clothing or fashion or art in a way. And so
I want to ask you about something, because this is something that has popped up, and I know the person listening is going to hear this. Getting a second job, was that tough? Was that, you know, on your pride kind of level? Like, you're like, I gotta fucking do this, even though this is probably your baby, right? This is what you want
this
to
is
do.
my baby. Yeah.
You had to get a second job.
Yeah.
What was that? You know, was that
It was hard. Now, here's the good thing. It's at a thrift store, which I upcycle. So I use that as motivation. Like, well, it's connected to the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And they're super flexible. Get a good discount. Get first pick. Get to see my fabric. So it's a win-win. But yes, it was hard to hunker, you know. Is it bunker down?
Hunker down.
Hunker down, bunker down.
Whatever.
Whatever, like, and say, I got to get a job just to sustain. Like I said, I have 2 kids. They get take care of first, no matter what. And so, yeah, it was hard. And the crazy thing was, an athlete's parent came in the other day. Now, think about that, being a coach and then them see you work there. Mm-hmm. But all I could think is, like, all these people that I'm working with, they're characters. They're characters, but they are so loving, so caring. And I'm blessed to work with those people because I've worked with some fucking assholes. Mm-hmm. And I'm in this thrift store with some of the best people. Yeah. And I held on to that. And I'm like, that kind of got me through that awkward situation with that parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is prideful and it's like, oh, I thought you were working with a lot of these people. I feel like I heard this from somebody that was working high up where I was working at the school. He'll come back. He'll be back.
Is that some motivation for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's more like, fuck you. Mm-hmm. Like that's fucked up.
I don't need shit from you.
It just, you know, it sucks that. But again, I worked with those people.
Yeah.
And these people I'm working with now, like, I've never been happier or excited to, like, because again, it's connected to the brand, but it's like, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. So,
dude, I'm embarrassed to admit this because I was embarrassed at the time. Landscaping. I seen some kids whose house, their parents' house, I was working. I was like, fuck, I don't want them to see me doing this.
Yeah.
I had that feeling. I was like, motherfucker. I'm embarrassed that I was embarrassed. I shouldn't have been embarrassed. I'm like, what the hell was going on? This was at the beginning of all this anyways. And I was like, man, oh, you know what? Fuck it. I don't need to have that feeling anymore because fuck it. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to do it with pride, you know?
Yeah.
I was like,
how long did that take you?
To recently.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that shit wore on me for a while. I just rethought of it. I was like, that was such a lame.
Like, were you
thing.
Embarrassed, or were you thinking that people were going to pity you or some shit?
No, I was embarrassed because I went to high school with them, and now I'm working at their. I went out to Lake Allen Henry to work on this house, so they were out there doing cool shit, whatever. You know, if you get that opportunity, go out on the lake and have fun. And I was working, and I was like, I hope they don't see me. I don't want them to see me from high school. And I was like, no, you know what, whatever.
Right.
This is what I want to do, but I'm not there yet. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
But I would tell you is like, you got to do what you got to do, but you're providing platforms.
Well, yeah, that was a while ago, so.
Yeah. Right. But it's like you're providing platforms by being able to do something like this. What I realized is like, and I was one of those guys, like I would look at those people that are creating something and then, you know, working odd job, whatever you want to call it, working these jobs to make sustainability and be like, these losers, you know? But at the end of the day, they have a vision and a dream that I wish I could have touched years ago. And you know,
those are the people that seek discomfort to grow out of something. You know what I mean? So you got to respect it. Like, we have 2 or 3 jobs.
I've been like that working tile because, you know, sometimes I have worked on people's houses that I knew.
Yeah.
And so that's, you know, a hard pill to swallow. And then even just working in that industry, like anything construction, kind of like what you were talking about, how when it comes to real estate and like the roofers.
Right.
Those people, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like it's great to have a trade no matter what, because it's something you can fall back on. But a lot of people that are in these trades, they tend to make fun of the so-called artists. You know, because they're like, oh, well, they didn't go get a real job. That's a lot of times how they looked at it.
Yeah.
And it's always been hard for me to express, you know, dreams that I've had when it comes to me wanting to become a filmmaker, you know, working radio, you know, even working like social media, like and stuff like that. it's always hard talking to those people when it comes to that, because they're like, oh, he's just like a typical millennial. He wants to be famous, you know, like, but that's always a hard thing to, you know, it's hard to swallow, because, you know, you want so bad to be up here, but it just takes steps to get up there, because, you know, it just doesn't work out. Like, that's the thing. Now we do live in the now generation where we do want it now. We want to be there so bad, but it just takes process, you know. Even with me, like, I'm in my late 20s right now, and sometimes that's hard for me, because I'm like, well, shit, there's certain things I could have done when I was 22 where I could be in better set now, but a lot I can't really think like that. So
well, I just want to tell you congratulations, bro, for sticking with that and having that vision, because a lot of people, they have it, but it dies in the grave with them. You know what I mean? And same with you, y'all you talked about the film as well, and doing these type of things.
Oh, yeah. And these are things like, I mean, I want to be as multifaceted, as multidimensional as I can, but like I always say, like, I'm going to live as many lives in this one little life. You know what I mean? There are going to be errors of Jen. There are going to be errors of me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter my age. It doesn't matter where I'm at. You know what I mean? 100%. I am just going to take over what I can.
Well,
get my hands in what I can.
Right. And the one thing for me is I started at 32. I'm 32, or I started at 31, and with 2 kids, and a lot of people look at that like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Like, you got to. But it's more than me. It's more than me. It's like you said, I want to build an era and a legacy at the end of the day. And I knew I couldn't do that through coaching.
Oh, yeah.
I knew I couldn't build that for my kids. Does that make sense?
It's kind of weird though, because you did try to create a legacy.
I did. Yeah. And but like,
but that's the thing. That's not the end of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Coaching was an era. Yeah. Fashion is an era. It's just a continuation of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, my dad, like I said, sports. But I grew up drawing. It's like, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And so, me and my girlfriend, with our, you know, with the kids, we try to provide art, creativity, because there's nothing like getting lost in.
Yeah.
You know.
And you just never know what little minds, what medium they'll pick up and get interested in, you know, whether it's with technology or art or fashion.
Yeah, if you've seen my parents, you would have never guessed I was going to do this. Why is that? They're not artistic at all.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, get a job, go to school, or go to school, get a job, you know, maintain yourself.
Right.
You know? But luckily they did that so I can have a little leeway to do this.
You said that perfectly, because I get so frustrated with my dad, but I'm like, he had to live that way and teach that way in order for me to change it up.
Yeah.
That's
kinda
so
weird.
good, man.
I was talking to my best friend about this last week, because she was kind of talking about the same shit about how, like, you know, you want your parents' support 100%, you know, and I try to tell her, you know, our parents are from an older generation, but also they struggled out of fear of not being able to make it, and they worked their ass off to give us opportunities. And sometimes they're hard on us, not because they think we are not capable, but because they have fear of us failing, you know, so they try and fear monger us into choosing the safe route. You know what I mean? And I mean, sometimes you just got to love them for who they are and just not take it personally. 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I can't thank them enough. Like, I mean, imagine your kid making that change drastically at 30 years old, you know? And it's like, of course the fear comes in, but they have been to almost every pop-up and they come through, like,
nice.
No matter what, they'll always support. So
do you think social media is killing creativity?
No.
It's not killing creativity. It's making a lot of people second guess.
I just feel like it's, you're playing because I've been hearing that, like, a lot of people are playing the algorithm game and playing what's going to get the most views, what's going to, you know, I think, and that can go against who you really are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was listening to Louis C.K. talk about that, and he was like, it's a long road, but if you're going to go against it, you're better off being you while you're doing it, but it's going to fucking take way longer than somebody else. I made that decision though. It's like, I'm going to stick to who I am. I'm not going to fucking play this social media game. Of course I'm going to try to post and get this shit out there, but I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And if you are, whatever, good for you.
Can I ask you a question off? Maybe off this topic.
So,
I was watching when was it? It was a while back, but you talked about something being like the most hated, or there was a situation in Lubbock that I'm trying to think the podcast, but you felt like people were saying something. You said you were being raw and people were criticizing you.
Oh, was this the last podcast host?
No, this was a while back. I've been wanting to ask you, like, was there, because it just seemed like you were willing to say what needed to be said.
Oh,
While other people kind of held back. I didn't know if there was a situation like that.
fuck it, probably all the time, man.
Yeah.
Well, hell,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about just, we love the city we live in, but at the same time, it's a harsh environment to be in.
Okay.
And, we're putting ourselves out there. Not everyone gets to have this platform. Not everyone gets to sit here and then say what they want to say for an hour or two, put it on the internet, and they have the choice to either look at it or not.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people get that opportunity.
Right.
And I think living in Lubbock can still be a very harsh environment because we have a lot of those people that, I could do that. I could do that better than him.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, they'll be like, oh, fuck him. I could do that.
Right.
Like, and a lot of times that's where it comes where certain people don't support.
Okay.
And, even just by being raw, people get pissed off at that because not everyone gets to have the opportunity to be raw.
Okay.
Yeah, because you mentioned that in the messages, and that's one of the, I guess, sometimes I feel the need to say things that people aren't going to speak on. And I feel like I put that on my shoulders a little bit to speak on the things that need to be spoken on. Maybe it was like suicide or something. I don't fucking remember because I was like, we got to talk about this. So there's moments in this where I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, but fuck, we got to talk about it because it's really important. Sometimes it goes against the grain of what people like, because we're trying to win people over here. We really are in Lubbock. And sometimes we're going to piss them off. And I know it. Once I say it, I'm like, they're going to hear me say this and they're not going to like it, but they're going to like us for who we are, at least, the people that do like us.
But that's the thing. You got to get that transparency out there because people need to know who you are. And that's how you get your audience. That's how you get really people to appreciate and love you, I think.
Well, I think that's the answer to your question. Creativity is not dead because there's still people like that.
Dead,
well, I mean, how did you say it? Social media.
What did I say?
You said, what did you say?
Killing creativity.
Killing creativity.
I think in that sense it is. Like people don't want to be real.
Yeah.
But, that's up to you, I guess. But,
I mean.
But it's also a great place to put your stuff on.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were talking about like that fast, verification, putting things out on social media. And people want that so quick, but it dies out just as fast. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, those... Again, I keep bringing up my age, but I'm really lucky to do it at this age because I have that. I don't need that validation.
Yeah.
If I did this at 22, 23, I feel like I'd be doing it just like anybody else. I'm still trying to figure out the social media side of things, but I do it the way I think looks good and that I like. And I don't get swayed too easily with, how other people are doing it. I get inspired. I don't get swayed from my own creativity.
What's the most important thing about fashion to you? What do you love most about it?
Just like I said in New York, being able to speak without having to say a word. I'm one where maybe I talk too much and say certain things that need to just be left unsaid. And I think fashion gives me an opportunity to keep some of those thoughts at bay and just you see what you see. And I don't know. I like attention too.
It's awesome.
I love attention.
It's a good dress.
And that's something that when you walk in and somebody sees your fit and you get a double take or you get a look, even if they're judging, it's like someone saw me. Mm-hmm. So
when
clothing,
go ahead.
No, I was just say clothing can be fun when you have the mentality of like it's Halloween every day. You know what I mean? Like, like you get to command the energy that you put out with what you wear. You get to command the energy that you put out with the scent you wear, with the way you do your hair, with the way, that you put your pieces together. Like, I mean, I do hair for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the way I'm going to dress on a casual day and the way I'm going to dress on a professional day are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But when I dress professionally, it's like, I am here to work. This is what I charge. I look like I charge this. You will respect me as such, you know, type shit. And I don't take it like, you know, like I'm the shit, you know what I mean? But you can just really state your presence and your dominance, you know, it's just your appearance. And that's why I hate to say it, but appearance matters. Appearance fucking
really
matters.
Yeah. To me, appearance, I mean, first impression is everything. That's how you open the door for a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, you know, to keep the conversation going. It is first appearance. I just wanted to, before, I know you were about to say something, but before I had a buddy, we were in Dallas, and he dressed as very 50-year-old dad vibes.
Nice.
And he forgot, which is great too. It's his style, and I love it. But he forgot his clothes in Amarillo. So guess what he had to wear?
Your brand.
My brand and my clothes. And we went out on the town one night, and in my eyes, he walked a little bit different. He talked a little bit different. And I think the clothes don't do that. It ain't the clothes, but it's the way you feel about yourself in those clothes. And clothes can shift your perspective in that.
Yeah.
And that's how I saw it. So,
what's to you the most important piece to wear?
ooh, that's a good question.
Focus it down to one thing.
Most of my stuff is outerwear, so jackets.
I love jackets.
Yeah.
God damn it, I love them.
I'm big on layering. I love yours, by the way. I love that.
Vintage, by the way.
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
But yeah, a jacket, a nice little jacket, because I mean, you can wear it cold or hot. It goes anywhere. I don't wear shorts out. So I'm constantly layered and stuff, whether it's summer or winter. But yeah, jackets, I would say.
Do you have any like people that you look up to in terms of how they dress? Lemmy Kilmister, by the way, is my favorite person. He's got the coolest fucking swag, I think, of all time. Just to throw it out there.
Say it again.
Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. If you ever want to know why I dress the way I do, there you go.
That's your North Star right there.
You'll fucking see it real quick. Or when I'm out, not right here on the snake pit.
That is cozy clothes.
I can still see
Dude,
a
let me
little bit of
Kilmister young.
Young.
Y-U-N-G.
And if I could grow facial hair like that, I would.
Yep.
Look at Roy.
There he is.
Everything I
Love
do,
it.
I add a little twist to everything I do, but everything I do, you can point back to certain people, including this podcast.
Okay. Sick, bro.
That one right there.
That, yeah.
Boom. I love that one. That's exactly how I would live like that every day.
How old were you when you first saw, or
Shit, I was
do
like
you remember?
21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just started listening to, I started listening to Metallica, and then I was like, they were influenced by Lemmy, and I was like, who's Motorhead? And then
You were
boom.
that late in the game with
Yeah, I
them?
was really.
Shit, I knew about Motorhead when I was in third grade.
I didn't start listening to it until I was like 21, but I was like, and this was right around the time I started hearing about A$AP Rocky. Well, no, I was like 16 actually. A$AP Rocky, and he put fashion on for me on another level.
Yeah.
That's when I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you can make a statement what you wear,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can be a hype beast and still be cool. He was the guy for me. I was like, oh, it really does matter.
Right.
If it matters to you, then it does fucking matter, you know?
Right.
Like, dude, it's cool.
It's a strategy too. That's what I love about it. Cause I mean, there's a fine line between the hype beast and then your style. And so like the way you piece pieces together, there's a strategy to it. And A$AP is a genius, you know, Tyler, the Creator, genius with styling. So, I would say recently DeAndre Hopkins,
The wide receiver?
wide receiver for the Cardinals.
Huh.
Love his style.
Really?
Love his what he's been wearing lately. But it changes for me time to time. I don't really put G on his social media. He posts a couple things, but
Is this something you would do though? Like try to get your clothes onto these guys?
that's my dream.
Yeah.
That's my dream, is to see it walk down like we talked about Guap. He had it,
I was gonna
those
bring him up.
athletes. Yeah. I mean, that's my dream, is to have an athlete walk down and
That Asian
In a
dude in
tunnel.
Spider-Man was wearing his shoes.
yeah.
Damn, dude.
So wild. Yeah, just
Chevy
like
metal.
that top right. I mean, he's amazing with layers, but his swag. I mean,
Does he have a stylist, you think?
That's a good question. I bet he does, huh? I bet he does.
But yeah, ultimately, you would like to.
But you know what I appreciate about him? There was a in Arizona, he supports locally and buys from brands like myself and posts them on Instagram. I actually reached out to one last week. He bought some pants from him, Pop Fields, and he posted them. I was like, hey, appreciate you. And he's wearing them out. So he's willing to help out. He's willing to help out those brands like myself, these small brands. And
I wonder if my uncle knows him because my uncle's in the Low Rider gang in Phoenix.
oh yeah?
Yeah, he's into that shit.
Yeah, right there. Those pants right
Those are
there.
sick.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Those
Yeah.
are so sick.
Yeah. So I thought it was cool that he was,
He blew him up, probably.
exactly.
Oh, look at those pants.
right.
Those are beautiful.
Those are amazing.
So I guess what I was gonna say was, I don't even know how to really ask this, but like, when there comes a time when when we're all long gone, but when you're long gone, what's something that with your art and fashion, what's something that you want your clothing to say about your life?
That's a good one. I the biggest thing is that I want my clothing to be able to be connected to other creatives.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't do it on my own. I did it with others. There was platforms provided. I think that's what I want my clothing to say.
Mm-hmm.
That it took a team effort. It took a group to create it.
Where the future, I guess, designers elevate from that and they just make it. Is that something you want, I guess?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've done a couple fashion shows and like I'm reaching out to live performers that's never been heard. Other, whether it's models, I just want people to be seen. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a fashion show next week.
In February
Tell me
4th.
about it. What's going down over there?
So somebody, her name is Georgia Estrada. She's putting on an event for a scholarship on the north side for two high schools on the north side of town. And she's doing a big scholarship fund, and she asked me to do a runway show for it. And I figured, what better way to do a runway and also drop the spring 23 collection?
So what goes into that? Like you just get people to literally walk down the runway.
So it's going to be inside a smaller venue. There's going to be tables around. I have a model named Drew who pretty much helps me with how the models walk. I mean, you're here. I mean, he's got it down to a T. So he helps me with all that. But I have 12 models that I'm styling. So they'll be in jackets. I'm working on my first pants this week as well to get done for that. So yeah, we'll be styling them. We'll do a photo shoot before the runway and then we'll have our show. Right. She's bringing in a saxophonist from Dallas, originally from New Orleans, and he's going to be
that's cool.
playing while we're walking down the runway.
Nice.
Yeah. So
some of your pieces are like one of ones because you thrift them. You find them at thrift stores and stuff. What do you call it? Upcycling?
yeah, upcycling.
Yeah.
So I'll get multiple pieces and I'll blend them, like this one right here, that orange one. That was a crotch area. You see where that large MOR is? That was a crotch area of a overall. And I just flipped it upside down and turned it into a pocket. Yeah. So, and those are all multiple pieces that I just like cut and sew and kind of design different ways around the original canvas, which is, a jacket or, we got this trench right here where I did some hand painting as well on denim. And so I'll just,
This one right here.
I like
did some
that one.
splatter paint. Yeah. Did like a tan background, distressed it a little bit and then hand painted over it. So Yeah. So a lot of them are multiple fabrics blended into one.
I'm always trying to get inside you guys' brain just to like
Mhm.
where does the idea come from to do something like this? You know?
So I had a process where I was sketching. I would get a canvas, which would be like a jacket or mainly a jacket, and I would lay that down, and then I would find color palettes in my scraps and figure out a color palette, and I would sketch it out. And it never came out to be what the sketch looked like, because as in the process, I'm just changing it over and over and over. So now I just kind of go off my vision and kind of blend pieces together in my head and just go with the flow as it goes on.
Where can they? Are you selling? Do you have a website?
I do.
Okay, sweet. We'll put that in.
Yeah, yes, sir. Momentumofroses.com.
What? Yeah. What is the name? Where'd you get that? Where'd that come from?
My last name is Rosas, which is roses in Spanish. And my last year of coaching, every year I had a keyword: persistence, loyalty, and our team would focus on it. Last word was momentum.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it just looked kind of dope with the MOR design as I fit it together. So, yeah, momentum and momentum is huge. I mean, all it takes is one moment to change that, whichever way you want. You can either fuck it up or you can change your life. And it's just in that moment. So, like this hoodie right here, me and my son designed, lost in a moment. And so that's the idea. Just be lost in that moment, because it can really shift you in the direction you want to go, or it can really take you away from what you want.
That's true. Clip it.
Yeah, that's the message behind it. But
Do you ever plan on doing your own sort of sneakers, since you are into basketball and all that sports?
I don't know where to start. I mean, you see Guap doing his thing like that. Like, I mean, you can do canvases. He does it like on a lot of forces, right? Air Force Ones, Blazers.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, just blank canvases like that. But yeah, I never even thought about doing my own sneaker. No, but I mean, that'd be amazing. I wouldn't turn off that opportunity.
So this spring summer collection you did,
Mm-hmm.
what was like your...
Peace of mind. So that picture right there is actually from the last fashion show. And if you notice, all the models are holding each other. And I was beating myself up, imposter syndrome. I don't know if y'all get that, but I get that a lot because I still don't know what the hell I'm doing.
What does that mean? Can you tell me what that means? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, for me, it means like I'm not a creative. I'm not really supposed to be doing this.
Oh.
I'm an imposter.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty opposite.
You're opposite.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this shit.
and for me, I think it's because I was stuck in this mindset forever, and now I'm doing something nowhere near what I was doing my whole life. And so I'm like, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Which, I mean, I fight that every day. But yeah, so they're holding each other. The models are holding each other. And I was having an imposter syndrome moment. And that picture came up, and it gave me peace of mind, because I'm creating to find peace of mind. And that's the idea behind this next drop. Create to find peace of mind.
When will that be available to people?
February 4th.
There you go.
February 4th for the fashion show. I'm actually doing pop-ups, and I'm having a couple pieces out there, limited quantities, just to get if people like them. I don't know if you saw the back of that one, but I sketched the peace of mind over create to find in a nice little font. And if you see the sketch, it's real rugged and peace of mind. It's almost like like getting it all out. I need that piece right now. So,
and when you're doing stuff like this, is it just like this collection? Once it's done, it's done. You never bring it back up
right
onto like the cart.
Right. And I only buy, the most I'll ever buy is 15 total per like hoodie or crew neck.
Oh, really?
Super limited.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't, again, fast fashion. I don't do that shit. I buy what I buy. If it sells out real quick, I might restock one time, and that's it. I'm done with it. Yeah. try to sell it out.
So how many like drops a year do you do? 2?
2. Yeah. So I plan on doing another fashion show in September, which will be my own, and I'll do the fall winter.
In September, that'll be in Amarillo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to go to that one.
Or should I bring it here?
Why not both? I don't know.
Do too, yeah.
I would say do it there because I've never heard of it being done here. It probably has done, but I haven't heard it. So
Yeah, we did.
if you're already doing it, do it over there.
Yeah, we did one in August. This one at a auto body shop, Hell Repair, and I built.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had an amazing team that helped me too, which was actually ex-athletes that I coached, and they wanted to be a part of it, and I wanted them to be a part of it. And we built a runway out of vintage rugs, so it was like all vintage rugs all the way around the runway. Yeah,
Dude, that's pretty
it
cool.
was pretty sick. Yeah,
And did you have pictures of it?
I think it was all the way down. But yeah, I think I saw it too.
yeah, right there, a small little picture there. Yeah, it was cool.
That is pretty cool.
And we had 3 live, 1 live band, a singer, and then a rapper at the end. Had like 12 different vendors out there. So again, bring people together. Had other clothing brands. I want all of us to be a part of it. So yeah,
It's a good mentality. I love hearing it.
yeah,
You're working with Humble Hustle tomorrow, you said?
yeah. I'm gonna go in there. He's gonna teach me a little bit about screen printing. And I need to learn myself and eventually figure it out. So does Season do his in shop?
Mm-hmm.
He does all his in shop. Yeah, I reached out. I saw you put out that bomber. Sick.
Guess who took those pictures?
Is that you?
Yeah.
You do the photography? For
No, he had me do it one time, man. He just told me to shoot. I didn't do shit.
Yeah, it looked good.
It was fun.
It was amazing. Yeah, I reached out to him because I just got some bombers about a month ago, and I said, "How is the screen printing process?" Because I hear it's hard on that. So I'm just trying to learn the different fabrics, what can be heated, what can't. So I'm just trying to figure that out.
Can you screen print on leather jackets?
I don't think so. That's a good question. It was a fucking job to do sewing on a leather jacket. You have to get a thicker needle. It's pretty tough on leather.
Yeah, tell me putting these pins on there fucking suck.
Yeah. I put some denim pieces here, and it was pretty tough following with that. But yeah, I've never been into leather, but I'm loving it.
It's a good look.
Yeah, I'm
love
going to
leather.
do it more. Yeah.
You ever do
When I first met you, I think you had a leather jacket. That was the first thing that stood out to me. Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies. I forgot I met you. And I got your number.
Season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the summer.
They did. Oh, God. It was with La Chimino and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were out there. How was that? Was that all right?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was cold. It was fine. We had a good time. Met some guy. That's the one thing with pop-ups. I'm doing all these pop-ups, and it's a hit or miss. I can go and make good. I can sell multiple pieces. Or I can sell nothing, and you're just sitting there. But the biggest thing is the conversation with these people. You meet people, you make connections, whether it's a vendor or a consumer. Like the conversation is big, and I've never been a people person, and this has really opened me up to
You
that.
better change that, man.
I know. This has really opened me up to that. And so, I don't know. These conversations are amazing. That's why I love doing them. I have my first one, or I have one tomorrow morning here, and I'm traveling back to Amarillo and doing one tomorrow night. So,
On a Thursday?
on a Thursday.
Did it snow up there? Yeah. A lot more than here, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
But it wasn't too bad, though. We got around pretty good and not too bad.
At those pop-ups, kind of bringing it back, is it hard to get like your I feel like people need to understand your message a little bit more to want to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
Like you said, at the price.
Right. And that's why like creating like I do like a lot of subtle pieces, but creating one aspect of the piece to pop. So like on the back of that one is going to be that red piece of mine. That's the first thing that's going to catch their eye. Then they're going to question it. How do I read this on here? And then hopefully you can give them the answer, or you allow them to interpret it how they want. Same with that one. That all you can see from afar is a Lilac X from afar. That looks pretty dope with the Lilac X. What the hell? And then you get closer and you see the image, the sketch. So that's kind of how I design the pieces when I, do those screen prints. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people will see it and have no connection to it. Momentum of Roses, that's a long name. They're like, oh, I'm out. And that's it. So sometimes, I mean, you get hit or misses with that too.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're telling us about this stuff right now. Hope people listen, kind of get a good idea of what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's one of the most difficult things about all of this that you're doing? What would you say?
Like anything, money, financials. It's tough, man. It's tough whenever you have a dream and you want to make it your career, and it takes time. But in your head, you don't have that time.
So you started this last year?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of time. To get up and go. I mean,
it's a lot of time. But. Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's trying to figure out the price points because I don't do bulk. If I did bulk, it'd be, but there's only limited quantities, and then it's like, what price points can you have? And so it is. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's so new to me still, and I'm trying to make it lucrative and having the finances come in for it. It's that can be the tough part of it, and a lot of people don't want to talk about the financial side of it.
We should.
That's everything. I could easily be like, man, I'm selling out and I'm good. This is what I'm going to be doing, but it's questioning it every day, and I'm not scared to question. I think that's important. Should I be doing this? It's a good question to have. And every single time the answer is yes, you are doing it. You're not stopping. Yeah.
What do you think makes something like a clothing brand or this sort of artistry last for a long time?
Yeah.
What do you think? How does that like? I think about that with obviously right now with you, like season 3. Mm-hmm. How does it become a staple?
I think it first starts with the message. What is the message? And secondly, logo is big. Is that logo timeless?
Like the swoosh?
Exactly. Is it timeless? And then after that, promos. Who's promoting it? Who's willing to wear it? Who's willing to share it? If you see one person promote that is a TikTok star, how many followers do they have? And then it's like fire. It's wildfire. And I believe that is timeless. Now, can you name a brand that lasted a year or two, maybe even 5, that kind of fizzled out? Could you think of one? I think of like FUBU.
The one I'm thinking of is Stars and Stripes. Famous.
Yeah, chill, Famous.
Chill.
Echo.
What do you think happened there?
So wasn't it Travis Barker's? Like, wasn't he an affiliate of that, or he was like something in that brand? Will you look it up?
He was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to say around the time it fizzled, maybe would have been like 2009.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Lil Wayne wearing it for a little bit. Lil Wayne.
Well, I'm asking the question because this is a conversation I've never even thought of or had. What makes it timeless? Like, you think of Adidas, Nike, Reebok, those are all sports. Is there streetwear you got the Gucci's of the world and the Louis Vuittons, but
Supreme.
But even then, like
Supreme,
those things will have like resurgence because it's like, let's talk Von Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Von Dutch was like a dead brand from the 2000s, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it fizzled out with Ed Hardy and all that shit.
Mm.
But with the Y2K resurgence, people were bragging about thrifting and finding Von Dutch pieces, So I think if it becomes popular at one time, if vintage stays current, and if it stays curated, you can really curate your pieces.
Right. And
Either
I think
way.
you mentioned Stars and Stripes, right?
Oh, not Stars and Stripes. Famous Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
And then they changed to Straps later on.
Straps. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, they had like a certain path, right?
Yeah.
Were they willing to be flexible? You got Vans, which is like skateboard, Supreme skate, but look at them. They're doing collabs with Nike and sportswear, and now, they're flexible, and I think that's what you have to be. And So I guess that's a question that you asked earlier. Like, is social media killing creatives? Like, are these people willing to give up some creative, like they had this creative path? Are they willing to go outside of that to make it timeless?
And I feel like with that too,
That's
like
hard though.
even like
That's
staying,
hard as a creative.
like still staying on Famous or whatever. I really feel like their niche was one aesthetic, which was like a
Exactly.
skater streetwear type, but also when your audience ages out of that aesthetic, I think that's also what killed it.
100%.
Your skateboard
Yeah.
people, your metalheads, you know, your rockers or
Yeah.
whatever, they aged out of it, you know, so they really
The
didn't reach
bros.
for it. Yeah.
What blows my mind is Champion was like everywhere in Walmart.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah. Same with
the only
Starter.
place you could
Starter.
find it.
Mhm.
And then now like there's designer Champion stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think a few years ago, like I saw Starter, like windbreakers were going for like 90 something. And I'm like, the audacity, because people used to be like shitty to people that used to wear Starter back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it was like some broke shit. And I mean, that's
I wear
just how people
Starter.
were. That's just how people were back in the day.
yeah. Well, have
That's
you
my
seen
loungewear.
those basketball or those football pullovers, those starter pullovers? How much those are going for now? Like the Eagles,
Yeah.
the Cowboys. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think that was the resurgence of the vintage world, thrifting, secondhand. Whenever people started getting more, expect the teenagers ran that show. When they started making that cool, the prices obviously.
Hell
rose.
yeah.
That vintage
And they brought
stuff
it back.
big in Amarillo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you think there comes a time where that does come to an end, like with the throwback style? It just seems like it works now because us millennials are very reminiscent.
Right.
It seems like we want to hold on to that time period.
Yeah.
But I wonder by the time the next generation gets here, that's gonna fade away.
It'll probably hit its cycle
Yeah.
and end, and then start over,
Mhm.
and then another 50 years it'll come back. But which is scary because I really love that.
Oh, it's just
Love
like
that nostalgia.
it's just with anything like that video I sent you. Like it comes the same thing with film and everything. We grew up loving the 90s areas and the 2000s, but who knows when we have kids, we're gonna be like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch Bring It On or anything like that. Like it's gonna be that kind of thing
Right.
where by the time our kids get here, they're gonna be completely different than what we were.
To my children listening, you ain't getting none of my shit. I'm telling you that right now. You ain't getting none of my fucking shit. I'm gonna be wearing the same shit. Probably
You're gonna take
when-
it with you.
Oh no.
That's the thing about leather jackets, though. You can wear them. It's timeless.
It is.
Motherfuckers been wearing it forever.
Yeah.
But let me look anyways.
I look forward to that day. Like
Hell
if I
no,
have
man.
kids,
Motherfuckers ain't getting shit.
if I have kids and like just, I mean, because everything cycles through. I mean, trends always resurface. Eras resurface. You know what I mean? So I really think like what was relevant.
You're gonna relinquish all your band tees to your children.
I might.
Oof.
I might. I mean, what am I going to do with them?
Wear them.
I don't want to give them to anybody to resell.
Make them into a quilt.
I was about to say.
No, not even. I would
you're gonna see
rather.
like them tearing it up and putting it on jeans or something.
Hey,
They overwash it.
I
it
have
fades.
thrifted really cool vintage metal shirts and I crop that motherfucker. I don't
Hey.
care because I'm going to wear it. It's mine now. I'm giving it new
Your
life.
child. Sorry for you, buddy.
Future kid of mine, please quote me on this because I'm probably going to give you shit, but you can have my shirt and you can crop it, you can cut it, you can do whatever.
It's
I
in
said it
here.
right now. I'm probably bitching you out, but right now I approve.
They'll be like, but mom, they're going for $500. We gotta sell them.
I mean,
They'll be all right.
In that case, you-
I'm working
yeah.
hard so you don't have to fucking worry about that, okay? So keep the shirt. So
Oh yeah, another message. Yeah, we're busting our ass so you don't have to.
So you don't have to- exactly.
I didn't even think about that. Is a brick and mortar store something you would do?
Yeah.
You want to?
Yeah. I want to do a brick
In the
and mortar.
Rillo?
See,
No.
no. I want to move to like Dallas. OKC, man. I love OKC.
Really?
Love OKC. I did a pop up there a couple months ago, and just I don't know. It's a perfect city to me. I don't know.
I've never been there. Have you been there?
Yeah. I hated OKC when
You
I
didn't
was
like
there.
it?
I didn't like it.
No?
No. But I mean, it's been a little bit, so
Yeah.
it probably has changed a lot since.
Yeah, they're downtown. I mean, they have a lot of a big art scene that's growing there, and I'm hoping to make the trip down there soon. But in my eyes, it's a smaller demo than like a Dallas or
Is it cheaper over there?
Oh,
Like the cost of living?
yeah. It's just Oklahoma people are a little more rougher, just
Yeah.
personality wise.
Yeah, they're boring.
Yeah.
I went to Oklahoma when I was a kid for like national softball tournament, and we lost. But I distinctly remember being like 8 and my parents complaining about how racist everybody was.
Really?
So, yeah,
I haven't seen any of that.
yeah, they just like they faced a lot of prejudice and like roughness. People were mean to them, I think.
Yeah,
You need that sometimes.
my uncle lives in my uncle lives in Moore, Oklahoma, which is south of OKC, and I always hated going there.
Shit.
So,
It's a small little farm town, or
no, it's right. So there's Oklahoma City, there's Norman, which is where the University of Oklahoma is, and then it's Moore. It's like the hometown of Toby Keith too.
Oh my
do
god!
they have that big old sign?
Yeah.
You're like, to make it worse, it's the hometown of Toby.
Isn't Garth Brooks from there?
He's from
so,
he's
yeah.
from Oklahoma. He went to Oklahoma State, but I don't know where exactly.
That killer.
But
What?
I think
He's a murderer.
but like a
No, no, he's not. I'm sorry.
For real?
Where the body's at, Garth?
but I guess just with Oklahoma, like with it being so cheap, it's just because tornadoes go through there like crazy.
Yeah. That's the scare. That's my biggest fear is tornadoes. Actually,
The
So now
last,
that
We're
you
due for
mentioned that-
one, buddy.
well, the last one that they had that was real bad was like in 2013, I think. So it hit Moore, Oklahoma, and so my uncle who lives in Oklahoma City, that tornado happened. It was like I think it's called the F5, like the worst.
biggest one?
The biggest one.
Yeah, the biggest one. Ran through that town. My uncle's house was 2 streets down from it being completely destroyed. So he was that lucky. He got lucky with like broken windows, and that was it.
Don't they all have like cellars though?
Yeah, but if your
Not
house
go, but they do all
but
that.
if your house is all gone, that's kind of
Well, that I
At
mean,
least you're alive.
at least you're alive, but still.
I'm just saying, man.
well, growing up, my parents would be like, "Our son wants to be a meteorologist," because I would look at the radar. Like at 8 years old, I was just fucking scared. So I learned the radar of like tornadoes and where the formations are and all that.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all
'cause
get more like tornado scares than here?
We didn't have any this year.
'Cause I know the weather gets bad. My brother lives in Amarillo, and I know like
Yeah.
the snow gets really bad over
It's
there.
worse. over
It's
there.
like
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
with tornado.
I would say tornado
bad
wise is
weather.
probably the same.
winter wise, they get way more.
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
y'all's winter is like way harsher than
It's
ours.
yeah.
But with Colorado being right there, that makes a
Oh,
big
yeah.
difference.
You know,
Right.
I was looking at a couple of lists, like 3 or 4 of the windiest cities. Amarillo's been number 1 on some of them, and like some lists, it's this place in Kansas, and then it's Amarillo and Lubbock as the windiest cities. I didn't. Know
I believe that.
Not Chicago,
Yeah.
by the way.
I was gonna say yeah.
It's probably because Lubbock's just growing so much too, or that because like when you have development going on, the wind kind of slightly settles down.
Yeah.
because it blocks.
Things to block it.
Yeah, but Amarillo is just like an empty Minecraft level up there.
Yeah.
Is Amarillo a segregated town?
Segregate
Kind of.
with
That's
the
what I've
school systems.
That's what I've
Yeah, man. And that's why we're doing this scholarship fund, because it's for the north side, which is a lot of people argue that side doesn't get seen. That side doesn't get the help it should be getting. And so
You're talking about like Caprock and Polidoro, like that. Yeah.
Did you ever see that documentary with Hayden Panettiere when he tried to run for
I
city?
didn't. Is it good?
I liked it. Yeah, it's pretty
I haven't
fucking
seen.
cool.
He came in.
You know
I
him?
think I don't know him personally, but he came in a couple months ago, and I think he had like a book signing or something. He had something else out, and he came through
It's probably his
Probably
album.
album,
His
yeah.
album.
the album.
Yeah.
So he's a musician.
Might I add, if you watch that music video in that album, there's a Flying V guitar. It's my guitar. Just throwing that out there for you
Okay.
people out there fucking wondering.
Why is your guitar?
It's a long fucking story, but yeah, it's my guitar. So because
So-
he does the fate, he did the corpse paint,
Uh-huh.
and he was like all metal or whatever. Yeah.
So you know him personally?
I've talked to him and
Talked to him?
He's been on here before a long time ago,
Oh, really?
but
Okay.
I think now he's too cool for us. He's too big.
Is he in Austin?
He's here.
He's here.
In
Yeah.
Lubbock.
He's in Lubbock?
Yeah.
Because
Really?
his wife is getting her master's for theater at Tech.
Okay.
So once she graduates, he's probably
well,
going.
so what does he do now? What's his
He's
like?
a musician. Like I think
Musician
he's
is his main
fucking
thing.
Touring and
Shit.
He's like going to L.A., Nashville, Austin, Houston.
Damn.
He's big time. And then hell, he walked for
It was Gucci.
it was Gucci. Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
last year.
Yeah.
I think it was spring
Let me,
2021.
yeah.
I should have got him on right before he did that.
I gotta see that.
I think that's how you spell it.
I can see you model, Roy.
Me?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
see you on
Anybody wants-
Gucci.
if anybody
That's his
wants me to do
outfit.
it.
I'm trying to see. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, there. You
No, but I think
He
that was
looks
him.
good
I think
there.
that guy is like the creative director or something like that for Gucci that he was with, or he's something big in Gucci. I think.
Wow.
Alessandro. Something I don't fucking know.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah,
Shout
it's
out to
really
him,
cool
though.
to see.
Yeah.
So no, he's a cool dude though. He is cool.
Same with Jared
Yeah.
Leto.
what was the well, I mean, I guess the synopsis of that movie you put out. Was he running for?
He was running for city council, and he was
Right.
showing like basically if you have money, only the richest people are going to be in city council. It just showed that.
Yeah,
He was
he-
showing that. Okay.
Well, he did it was pretty much a skit. He did YouTube videos,
Oh, that's right.
and
He faked it at first.
yeah,
right?
he faked it, and it got so much attention that he kind of had to go into it, and it was a pretty big deal. And then like the city's trashing him. His parents kind of like weren't talking to him because they were just so embarrassed by it. Yeah, it's a crazy story. And then he got like the attention of people.
He was at Sundance, I think, right? Like the film was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
heard
called Kid Candidate. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna have to check it out.
but yeah, it just talks about how, I guess, when it comes to politics in Amarillo,
Right.
it's very like it doesn't matter how good you are on the opposite side. Like those people that are in it, that are the high ups, they're gonna get that position no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You showed it.
All right, I hate Amarillo again.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
Well, it's the same way.
There we go.
When it comes to
Hey,
politics.
shout out to my boy Trey Payne. Though. My guy, don't be talking about my boy like that.
So how's it? You mentioned our downtown is going. Is y'all's downtown
It's fucking lame.
really?
It just looks ugly. It's growing.
It
And,
kind of was getting somewhere with Bart Rager. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So he was a
shout out to my guy.
he was a tech football player
No, he's not my guy.
who turned into like a car, like he owned a car dealership.
Hopefully, like everywhere till Dallas.
Yeah, like he had stores
Spike
here,
Bikes.
Amarillo, Dallas, sold Dak Prescott a
Yes.
Porsche. Like he was
Yes,
big
yes,
time.
yes.
And then he got in trouble for stealing money from Ford.
Millions of
Yeah.
dollars. He was like one of the. No, I think it was the biggest like theft in history of America.
Yeah.
So
And that was y'all's mayor.
No, that was
No.
my boy. I liked him. He was cool. My relationship with him was different than
It's,
most people's
just, it's tragic that he was literally the only one really reinventing the
Oh,
downtown.
God, he
He
had
was
a lot
really
of money.
doing
Dude.
some cool stuff.
No, it wasn't his money, but it was a lot of money into it.
It sucks.
Yeah, like the
He fed
corner.
the city.
Well, the corner that he had, there was like a lot of like Lamborghinis and Ferraris just like inside that you could like look through the window. Like,
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
It was pretty
So,
much
like,
just his corner.
We have 19th Street, and there's like a section where all the big houses are. He had like the biggest house on 19th. He was balling. Of course, a young lad like myself loved him. Thought he was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I knew his son's cool,
Okay.
but he's a thief and he's in prison for like 10 years.
So it just kind of halted everything.
Kinda,
downtown.
yeah. But I don't know. What's cool about downtown Lubbock is there's a lot of cool older apartments. At one time, no one wanted to live in,
Mhm.
but now like the artsy people are starting to like move
Yeah.
in there too.
Yeah.
But I wish they did more cool stuff downtown, because you look at the buildings that are down there,
Mhm.
like it would be badass if they really
right.
did something to it, just because the way it looks. And I think there could be potential of doing badass
Yeah.
I
clubs.
think they're working on it because you're going to build a big park down there and
Okay.
Like-
y'all have like bars, like a bar strip downtown or
on
anything?
Broadway.
There's
That's where the-
there's Broadway, the Depot District. So,
Okay.
but I think it all comes down to of the ones that are in charge,
Mhm.
if they want to allow that to come in.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of certain people that they don't want to allow because, like, you know, that there's a coffee shop here. What are they called? Tumbleweed and Sage. They were apparently going to get a location downtown. And it was about to happen. I don't know if you remember.
So Tumbleweed and Sage, shout out. I really hope to get you on.
Hold on, we're still waiting.
I'm kidding. No,
Give it one more week.
no, they're cool. But so they're like a really outspoken coffee shop. They have their shop is in Wolfforth. It's right across from Friendship High School. So they really got known for like doing like positive protests outside of the high school, like pro-gay, pro-LGBT, pro-trans, you know, just like we support you, because I guess they caught wind of some stuff going on over there. So they would do like positivity protests during like the morning school hours. So the students driving in could like see those positive signs. You know what I mean? And so they got a lot of stuff for that. And then also the owner, she takes donations and she herself stocks the bathroom cabinet full of things that people might need, whether it's feminine products, whether it's hygiene products, whether it's Plan B, condoms.
Shout out to the free condoms.
Yeah. But she provides that because if somebody is in need in that and they can't get it, they can go into the bathroom discreetly, get in the cabinet, take what they want for free, and nobody has to know. So she is just really outspoken, just supporting people. You know what I mean? And so they had announced maybe like 2 weeks ago, I would say, they announced that they were going to open a second location inside of the South Plains College campus. So that was a big deal. A week later, she posts a TikTok and she announces that South Plains College pulled out of their deal, out of their contract, because they don't support abortion, or like essentially because they do abortions. That's what they said in their like detachment from like their deal, that Tumbleweed and Sage was performing abortions because they provided Plan B and condoms. Yeah, and so her point was, why would you potentially place an obstacle in a young person's life, you know, if that's really all that's holding them back, whether it's condoms, whether it's feminine products, whether it's Plan B. These people are going to school for their future, so why would you potentially hold them back from having that if they need it?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not
Is this recent?
This was like last week. This was literally last week.
Damn.
Yeah. So what were you going to say now? Because
that's pretty much what I was just saying, where it kind of just depends, because the ones that are in charge, if they don't agree with what you're going for, they won't let you in.
That's why we're not on the news.
Yeah.
I've been on the news before.
And it really sucks because it's only progressive. It's not like it's really like this outlandish thing, or like they're really forcing this in anybody's face. You know, it's just a part of their brand that's just a part of their brand. They just have that, you know, stocked. And so it really sucks that they just kind of just pushed that kind of stuff out.
Well, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's a harsh environment to live in sometimes, because we still have the good old boy values too, which nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, there's no open, like, we still have to open a lot of people's minds too.
Right.
And there's still some work to be done when it comes to that.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's worse in Amarillo. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of more of that shit going on over there.
Yeah. I agree. Again, I don't know much about Lubbock. I mean, I don't spend much time here, but in Amarillo we have that as well, and it's pretty. You know, I feel like it is getting better though. There is more light shined on art, creatives, and things like that, especially like in the newspaper and things we're seeing there. And there's just other social media avenues now that Amarillo has been providing for that as well. So. I don't know.
Amarillo could be something really special too, especially with how the interstate connects from Chicago to LA. Like, so many people are coming in and out. So, you know, so many people want to move to Texas too. So that's the first city you reach when you hit that.
And we have the 66, Route 66, but that 6th Street right there. I mean, y'all need to go check it out. I think y'all would love it. But there's like, it's all art. It's pretty much an art strip.
Yeah,
live music almost every night, and I mean that's the one thing. It's like that should be I mean, talked about all the time. That should be the focal point of Amarillo.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, so I guess, I don't know, a lot of people don't really shine the light over there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because I've been through there a few times because my uncle, like, we go antique shopping.
Yeah.
There's a cool, like, video game store that they have down there. They sell, like, cool
Game
vinyl.
Quest.
Yeah, they sell, like, cool vinyl, too. So I go check that out. That's really why I go to Amarillo's, because they have some cool records that I like to collect. I found some great records over there. So.
Yeah.
Is that Beaner place over there?
Good old Queckenbush. No, that didn't last long.
Really?
That didn't last long.
What
at
is that?
Ooh. I don't,
What was it called?
It was just called the Beaner.
The
I think.
Beaner, yeah.
It was a Mexican restaurant.
Crazy.
owned by a white dude though.
So,
I was gonna go. Look, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was gonna go.
He was like a high profile lawyer. And he's like, well, we get our beans from all over
You
overseas.
motherfucker.
He's like, we love beans.
So we love beans.
Shout out to the Beaner.
Pinto or black, we love them all.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
That's
Oh my God.
but it was fun to watch.
It was funny.
It
I
was
thought it was funny.
hilarious.
That's
to
some
watch.
Dale Dimmadome shit. Oh my god.
Hey, shout out to him. I see nothing wrong with it.
The Facebook comments on those, man, I was spending hours on that. But yeah, that didn't last long. That
So
building
funny.
is completely. I mean,
Yeah.
That shit was great, man.
Aw.
well,
Let's
he
open
had
up a
some.
place called Beaner here. We'll own it. How about that? See what they say then.
And he's your investor.
He had one investor.
Yes, Snake pit if you want. I don't give a fuck. I remember that. I just thought about that. Oh
funny.
my god. You guys are getting the fucking Bucky's. Lucky.
Oh yeah.
They're saying that. I mean,
I've heard it's been put on halt
it's on halt
because
right now.
apparently
Yeah.
they couldn't secure the land.
Good.
Yeah.
Bring it here.
No,
yeah,
it's
'cause-
okay
'cause
if
We're
it's
getting a
up
new
there.
loop.
Well, I
Right off the
recently,
loop.
yeah, I heard about that, and a lot of people were saying that, well, they should move it to Lubbock because it's easier to buy land here, so why not?
Which might happen. You
Yeah,
never know. But yeah, it's been on halt, so that ain't going to. We got the Amazon.
yeah.
The warehouse?
Mm-hmm. That was big. That brought a lot of people over. A lot.
Because that originally was supposed to come here.
I thought it was here. So it's over there now?
No, like a big warehouse. Yeah, but I don't know. We might still be
Told you.
getting one.
You can buy something right now and get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like we were gonna get like a huge hemp factory in shallow water.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the people that were in shallow water made a big deal about it, so it didn't go through.
Mm.
And it was going to bring a lot of jobs, but I think just the thought of, even though it's hemp, just the thought
Yeah.
of that terrified
They were like,
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, hell, here now so many people go to Clovis, which is an hour and a half away,
Mm.
to go buy legal weed, and they come back with it. So
Wait, Clovis is only an hour. How far?
hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour and a half to get some weed.
How far is it from y'all?
About
Like
three.
maybe-
About
Okay.
yeah, 3.5.
What's y'all? Is it called Clayton, the closest New Mexico town?
Tucumcari, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Tucumcari.
Yeah.
There's when we went to Colorado, there was a weed store and like the state line was like 2 seconds away from the fucking
Really?
because we were going up north.
Oh yeah.
So right as you enter New Mexico from the state line,
mm-hmm.
it was like 2 miles a weed
It was
store.
ready for you.
It was just
It
right
was
there. I
ready
was like,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna be making a trip to Santa Fe, I think, pretty soon. I love Santa Fe.
Man,
So
That's one place I've been wanting to check out. I heard it's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. A lot of old money there, but
George R. R. Martin lives there, doesn't he? The guy from Game of Thrones.
does he? I never
There's a
seen.
Meow Wolf there, so I think
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he started that stuff.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's a fun place, and it's cool because they do like markets
Yeah.
with all the jewelry and stuff. So it's a cool little.
So, fun fact. So, Santa Fe, she recently passed away. Her name was Glenna Goodacre, the Boulevard. Have you heard of it? So, anyways, she was a famous. No, we have a street called Glenna Goodacre Boulevard.
Mr. Lubbock over here is
I
just telling
know.
us history. It's good.
And so, but yeah, Glenna Goodacre, she lived in Santa Fe for years. She's from here.
Okay.
She recently passed away. But a cool fun fact about her, she's the one that designed the Sacagawea dollar coin.
Really?
Yeah, so someone from Lubbock designed the dollar coin.
There you go.
So a white lady taking credit for the Native Americans.
I don't know if she might have been part. I'm not sure. So
Whatever.
May I use the restroom?
Mission for the fans out there listening. Let me see what's going on. The moon landing was fake. No, we actually went to the moon landing, but
Talk about Ancient Aliens.
yeah, we went to Ancient Aliens. So pretty much all these kooky nerds, all the shit they've been talking for 20 years is probably true. All these things that have coming up in recent,
yeah,
whatever, military intelligence, Pentagon intelligence. It's probably validating the fuck out of these guys. So shout out to the Ancient Aliens. I'm an ancient astronaut theorist. I believe in it. Who knows? And we're back. Oh, we're already back.
Ancient alien talk.
Yeah, man. It's real. We were visited by something else a long time ago. Did you like it, Jennifer?
Yeah, I had a good time. It was fun.
How long was it?
It was
Like
an hour and a half. These two fellas right here have never seen an episode.
I've seen the memes.
Yeah. It's just cool. It's just fun to listen to really, really smart people who have seen the world come to these conclusions. And yeah. It's also really
Come to
cool
the
that...
video.
But it's also really cool like how
Well, they're out there in
validated they kind
Mexico.
of are now. They're pretty validated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything they were talking is probably fucking true.
Yeah. Like they really made a point. Like they were like, because of like how big the fandom got, that's really how they were able to power through and make discoveries.
Did they did they take any questions from anyone?
The VIP did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll do that next time.
year.
I didn't know it included like a Q&A.
I would have asked about Lubbock Lights. That's
The B2 bomber. This is Jennifer's favorite section, so I'll let her ask you a few questions.
Now I know what I'm supposed to ask.
What is it? What's the Lubbock Lights?
Oh, let's talk about that real quick.
so. Lubbock Lights were technically like the first like UFO sighting, like in modern time. There was no video, so it was set in I think it happened in 51 or 52. But a teenager caught a photo of it, and it kind of was like the first time people got to. And this was before the Roswell crash happened, so it's kind of like what was going on in this year because Roswell's right there.
Yeah.
So, but
all my family came from Roswell.
but here
Yeah.
I'll pull up a picture of what it looked like. But apparently, it was such a big phenomena here because apparently the whole town saw it. Everyone was just outside and they saw these lights just kind of fast paced, just went across the city. And the reason why it became so big too was these tech professors were chilling out. Supposedly they were smoking weed out in their backyard, and they saw this too. So did everyone else, and they kind of just took it on a discussion, and it's kind of just that's pretty much what it was. One of the first UFO sightings in modern time.
Will you click on the Phoenix lights as well?
Yeah, it's very similar to the Phoenix lights.
It's the B2 bomber.
We don't know though. I guess we'll never know.
There was a documentary I watched about this that was so interesting. I think it was called Unexplained.
The Stan Romanek story. Am I not thinking the right? I said that with confidence.
You did.
God damn. That is a documentary though. I think it starts off in it starts off in Colorado. Wow.
Well, they were in this documentary. They were giving. There was one guy giving information from the government. Well, the government came out and pretty much said, I'm sure y'all heard about all that, those documents, and so it was just focused on that. It was good. Yeah, it was talking about the Zimbabwe.
Oh, I heard about that. They went down and played with the kids or whatever.
Yeah,
Fucking weird.
And they brought back those kids years later to talk about it, and they were they telepathically were saying y'all are gonna fuck up the environment with technology. Yeah, take care of the earth. Technology,
Yeah, and all the kids drew what they saw.
That one was on Rogan. Go to the right. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
those.
Joe Rogan. We can talk about it too.
Yeah, all those kids
How long ago is this?
like what, 80s?
God, I think the
maybe?
80s, yeah.
Yeah, that's some weird shit.
The Greys,
But they said they didn't talk. It was just through like their mind.
Yeah, they were able to just understand them through.
Yeah.
Neuralink. Jennifer, ask away, man. Ask away.
This is a good transition because this is a little ooky spooky. Oh, but have you ever had a paranormal experience? Have you ever had anything ooky spooky happen to you?
Paranormal.
Do you believe in it?
I do. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. I don't know if I've ever experienced it personally though.
No.
Mm.
Are there any urban legends in Amarillo? Any places that are known as like haunted places?
Yeah, we have a factory off the boulevard.
Okay.
And apparently there was a big explosion and a lot of deaths, and people, go out there and try to scope it out. But that's like the big one in Amarillo. Also, the Nat off of 6th Street.
I know about the Nat. It's an antique store.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
that's a cool
I
place.
actually do have one. Okay. So I worked at Holy Cross. We built a new gym, but before that new gym, we were playing out in Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
And Alamo was a old. It was like is it a nunnery with the nuns?
Convent
type of deal. Yeah. Well, a nun was raped and killed in that, and we were playing basketball in that gym. Well, I would do what do we call it? Where you stay in lock-ins for the basketball season. Right before we go into the second half of district, we do a lock-in. We do Midnight Madness, where we do 3-on-3 tournaments, where we would have to sleep there. There was some scary shit like that, but I was just thinking about that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty. That's probably the closest thing that I've felt.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard, never saw, but felt like a heaviness.
Yeah, I can't imagine what ghosts roam around at the Nat, because that was like it was like a big old club back in the day. Like Little Richard performed there too.
Really?
Yeah. So like a lot of
So is it a club or a venue or?
Well, now
It's
it's
an antique.
it's an
You've talked
antique
about this
store.
before.
Oh.
Now it's an antique store, but like Little Richard got arrested there because he was just a black guy playing rock and roll in Amarillo, Texas. But yeah, it was also like a gym too, and then under it, I don't know if it's still like that, but the way the indoor swimming pools were, it would open up, it would be a basketball court, and it would open up, and then there was a swimming pool. So under the Nat used to be a swimming pool back in the day.
I didn't know all that. Yeah.
So-
But I know that we had in the 80s, we had a local what do they call them? That go out, ghost hunters, I guess. Yeah. And that was the big thing that they found. They found some things in the Nat.
I don't doubt it. I mean, there's a lot of history there. But yeah, that's the inside of it. You can see this is
cool.
It's a cool little spot.
yeah, that's the stage right there, and that's where people would party.
Yeah.
The ones that weren't dancing, they were all up here.
Nice. This is so random. Okay, do y'all watch Ghost Adventures? Heard of the show?
Mhm.
Okay. So there was an episode in Amarillo, Texas, and it was the worst episode I've ever seen. It was about this family that apparently had this awful evil haunting, and it was terrorizing their baby girl, and please come help us type shit. And so they go out there, and I remember wanting to watch it because it was Amarillo, Texas. Start watching it. This family is just completely bullshit. The mom is just trying to do her best to convince him that the house is haunted. They're not finding anything. And the funny thing about this episode is Zach Baggins is kind of petty. So Baggins, whatever. And he's kind of petty because there's one point in the show where they're trying to do an EVP session or something. And she's like, ow, something scratched my back. And she's got scratch marks on her back, in 3, I think. And Zach and the crew, they're like, did you you don't think you could have scratched your back? Maybe you could have brushed against something. And she was a little heavier set woman. And so she was like, I can't reach back there. I have a shoulder injury and I really can't reach back there. Look. And so she's forcing that she cannot move her arm back. And then Zach Baggins is in reviewing footage from that investigation, we actually found a video of, I think I don't know what her name was, but she was like adjusting her shirt and her arm was all twisted back, and they're like proving that her hand, she did have mobility of her arm or something like that. And so it was just the pettiest episode, but it was so funny.
Way to rip.
I know. But this was in her house?
It was in her house, and her house was just disgusting in general. Like there were bugs everywhere and shit.
Oh.
But like her house was not haunted. It was not like they found nothing.
Well, we made it on Ghost Adventure.
It was the funniest thing because he just had it find that clip of like, he was like, oh, we're gonna find this girl scratching her back.
We're gonna figure this out.
Have you ever seen Bomb City, the movie?
I have not.
That's that punk movie, right?
Yeah. So, because that was like a big trial thing, right? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I'm the worst Amarillian.
Okay.
Sad. I don't know.
Yeah, there was like some big trial that happened at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that based in Amarillo?
Yeah, it's based in Amarillo.
You should do a Lord's like a
film review on that.
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the story on that?
I mean, I've never really seen it all the way through. I just know about it, and it was like a big trial that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it became so big because Oprah and Dr. Phil were there.
Yeah,
and they kind of like televised it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of had to deal with. I can't really tell.
I thought it was something. He was like a punk. I think he was in a band or something. But something happened. They didn't believe him because of the way he looked or the way he carried out. I don't know.
Let me see. Let me look at the plot. Bomb City is a crime thriller about the cultural adversion of a group of punk rockers in a conservative Texas town. Their ongoing battle with a rival. More.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
Say the word.
I can't even say it. I can't even read right now. Hey, I was in speech for years, so there you go.
No, it's okay.
But I did still graduate with honors, so.
Whatever.
Yeah, they got in like a fight with jocks or something.
Yeah.
It was like a football team. They got in a big fight. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to watch this. And this is based in Amarillo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
I remember I was scared to watch this because I'm scared it's going to be really sad.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Are those the cars? What are those cars?
Cadillac Ranch.
Cadillac Ranch. Did you hear all about that with Stanley Marsh?
Hmm.
Have y'all heard of? Y'all don't know. So in Amarillo, Stanley Marsh is the one that brought those Cadillacs and put those in the ground. He was like the richest guy in Amarillo. He put all these weird signs up throughout the town with just like weird sayings. He wanted that out there. Come to find out, he was bringing young kids in and was like, I think he was like hosting it. It was like for the parent, he was hosting them, him being this big figure. Well, he was sexually assaulting these kids.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it finally came out. He ended up dying. He went to jail, died in jail. It was a whole thing. But
what the hell?
it was like a huge scandal because like kid after kid. So, I mean,
yeah.
Crazy thing was, I don't know if I should say it on here, but I was close to one of the victims.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first one that came out to the newspaper and was like, this is what happened. And then, yeah.
Damn.
But he looked terrible. He was like, it was like a Harvey Weinstein situation where they pulled him out of his house and he's already 90 something years old. Take him to jail. Ugh.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Cadillac Ranch, it's cool seeing like old photos because they were pretty much like brand new Cadillacs.
Yeah.
At the but it's weird looking at it now because there's so many layers of paint now on there now.
Yeah. And he just had this vision of art. Mm-hmm. That was his big thing. That's why he was creating these, visual signs with just random sayings. He had this vision of art, but
turns out he was just
that guy. Yeah, he was just not all there and fucked up individual.
Well, we can.
But I love Amarillo.
There you go.
So
we'll end it on
that.
Amarillo's great. Yeah. Thank you for doing this.
And it's been fun. Thank y'all.
Where can they follow you? Where can they?
Instagram momentum _of_roses. momentumofroses.com. I'll be posting more pop-ups. I'm hoping to come down here to Lubbock and doing more. Hopefully that art walk in April. Yeah, I'll be here for that. So
Sweet.
but yeah, man. So
Thank you.
they can find me. Thank you so much.
Bradley, got anything?
Just follow me at Bradley Noel Garcia and Lords of Film.
Follow me at Hellasoft. Follow me at Texas Chainsaw Alchemist. Follow Lords of Film. By the time this is released, it will have already been announced, but we're going to be hosting a movie night February 8th at Season 3. We're going to be showing Death Proof. We're essentially going to do like a little mini just hang out with y'all. We just want to hang out with y'all, mingle. It's free. Bring your own snacks, bring your own drinks. If you want to come cozy, that's cool too. We just want to watch a movie with y'all and give y'all a little trivia about the movie before we start. So come out.
Come hang out. Patreon.com/Snake Pit Studios. One love, guys. We'll see y'all.